right, let's get started. Welcome everyone. I hope everyone's going well tonight. We're just going to jump straight into it. There's a couple of issues that have been found with our mock-up, which we're just going to fix this morning or this evening. Nothing too hard. And then we're going to have a look at designs for... Well, actually, no, we're not having a look at designs. We're having a look at the user flow and what we could potentially do with the user flow. All right, let's jump straight into it. So I've got Browser Stack open. As you see, this is actually really tiny up here. It's definitely not ideal at all. And as you can see, the hot ping pops up there, but I think that's okay. I think that's intentional on the mobile phone. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger on mobile phone, and we are going to make sure, we're just going to make sure it works. So what I want to do, let's jump over into here, let's open up NearBeach, let's go to our source, let's go into our components, and then that'll be our part of the header. So this is just the header component up there. It's not much. We've just got the essentially 3 divs. Pretty simple. So we've got the header, background color white. Yeah, that's working perfectly fine. Position sticky top. We've just got a calc, and we've got some padding. So we don't have a height in there. So we've got 4 pixels and all that kind of stuff. And if we click into here, I was meant to click on that. All right, I'm gonna get out of this. Mainly because I want to jump into this. We can do stuff in here. That's Browser Stack is great as sort of confirmation and so forth like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this window down. I know it's very, very tiny. It is still a little bit bigger than what my phone is on the screen. What I'm going to do is I am going to move that off to the left. Trying to get this so this whole screen sort of appears for everyone. I'm going to have to do something like this. There we go. So yeah, that should be fine. What we want to do, I'm going to bring that down. I'm going to get rid of the console log because we don't need it. We're going to first click on the header. Now, we don't actually have a height on here. And the reason being is, I think everything in here sort of adjusts that height. So we got the show header menu, which is an image, and that's got a height of 16. And what we could potentially do is we could change that up to 26. Like so. I didn't see it increase. And we could increase the photo too, and the logo. So this is at the moment, it's set at that. So yeah, the height will, okay, not a problem. Okay, we've got something to work with now. All right. And we're just on an ad break. All right, I'm just gonna, sorry. I also had PyCharm open on my laptop, but my laptop's shut down at the moment, so I don't know why it's... all right. Give me a couple of seconds. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. JetBrains is just having a little bit of a hiccup. I had my Mac open before, though the laptop should be shut, so it should be in sleep mode. All right, so first off, we're going to clean up a little of the CSS down here. We can start nesting stuff. So I'm going to start nesting stuff so we know where it is in the hierarchy. So for example, we've got header, and then underneath header show menu. So that header show menu can go under there very easily. We can just cut that out. We can just do something like this. We can get it to format correctly. We can also go, and I think it's this for the nested stuff. So that's the show menu, that's the... Now the 16, that will change depending on a number of factors. The header profile, so there's the NearBeach logo. So I'm going to cut that one out. And I'm just going to do something like this. We'll just get it to lint that very quickly. The header profile image, that's at the very, very end, isn't it? Yeah. All right, I'm just going to refresh, double check everything's, yeah, sweet. So first things first is, we've got the header show menu, we've got the header, we don't actually have a height. We've got a width, but we don't have a height. And if I go height equals 36 pixels, and I just keep increasing it to about, I want to say 46 for the moment. Yep, that's working. All right. Cool. So, a couple of things I want to do. At what point am I going to break this off? Type of thing. So if I click on this, it should be around, yeah, the 6, yeah, that particular break off. All right, not a problem. That's what we will need to know for our next part. So here's our media sort of thing. So the small screen, down here, what I want to do is at media, we just want to do small screen, do it, oops. I've been doing C# all day. So on small screen, so this will be small screen and bigger. What we need it to do is have a height. I'm just going to bump back down here. I'm just going to double check this height out at the moment. So the header at the moment, if we refresh, and that's not going to tell us, but it's 45. So in here, I'm going to go height is going to be 45 pixels. Sweet. Up here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a height, and I'm going to say 56 pixels. Easy done. So when I shrink this, and I'm going to hit refresh just to make sure everything's, we've got 56 there. Now that looks a lot bigger. I'm just going to put up my phone. I probably need to zoom out just a little bit more. Okay, that's a bit wider than my phone. All right, small screen. Okay, not a problem. I'm going to keep it that small. Probably a little bit smaller. All right, and then the width itself. Okay. All right. There's a reason why I'm doing it that very, very small. It's because that sort of matches my phone in real life. It's just going to be a bit easier sort of designing this with that in mind. So I can see that that is sort of big enough at the moment for me to sort of touch. Yeah, I need to fix up a few other things, but that's fine. We'll actually do that next. So I think I'm probably going to bump that up to 60. Let's see what it is on 60. I like that. It's so much better on 60. So everything sort of fits under there perfectly fine, but when it's very, very big, it'll go back down to 45. So if we do that out like that, that should now go back to being 45. Oh, that's 53. Oh, it's the padding. All right, so that might be calc 45 pixels minus 8 pixels. Yeah, all right. And then I'm noticing the main is not off. That was just a, hang on, I'll zoom in. The main's off by 1 pixel. There we go. And this is why you sometimes use bold colors, because you can see these differences. So in here, we'll go calc 45 minus 8 pixels. Up here, we'll also do, oops, calc 60 minus 8 pixels. And the pixels is the padding for this particular section. So yeah. All right, I am going to bring back that down to 400 again. So that's looking good. Let's actually start fixing up everything here. So the hamburger menu is fine at the moment. This, the NearBeach logo, has a margin for top. That should be auto for margin. Like so. So what we want to do is, once it's on the small screen, we're going to go margin. Top is going to be 4 pixel, auto. I think that will be perfectly fine. And then, oh, that's for the wrong thing. For starters. So the NearBeach logo, boom. Small screen is going to be that. Oh, okay, no, I don't need to worry about that then, because when it's on the bigger screen, it'll default to that. And the height is 27. All right. So I'm just going to hit refresh. Ooh, we've hit that. Just going to go auto like that. Perfect. We're also going to increase the size. Let's do 36 pixels. I think 36 is a lot better for mobile phone. What we'll also do down here, the size, that's going to be 16. I'm going to do, let's do 36 there too. Yep, that's perfect. What we're going to do is we're going to have a compute method. So much like this up here, what we'll do is const I'm trying to think of a name. Menu icon size equals computed, and what we're going to do, return. We've got to figure out the size of the window. So window dot inner width. It's less than a certain amount. I know we do this somewhere else. All right, is inner width less than that? All right, so we do actually have them hard coded in. That might be something that we look at sort of putting as a variable somewhere, the screen sizes. So if it's going to be that, we want to return 36. Otherwise, it's going to be 16 like we had before. Now, down here, what we want to do with this particular one, we then now go menu icon size. That's going to hopefully work. It is. I think we've got to bind it in. Type string is not associated to type number. Ah, good point. Yep. Oh, all right. Why are you complaining now? Computed ref. Alright, there's something I might need to know. U3 computed types. How do I handle that? Alright, computer properties. What we need is types. There's only one match. Alright, cool. U3 specifying types on computed properties. Just going to have a quick read of this. Computer properties don't normally need to be typed since their typing is inferred by the return value. Alright. As the VSCO peak type to definitely hover overshade the correct type together. Alright, cool. Yep. Alright. Alright, then I'm happy if it doesn't need a type because if it's inferred, it's inferred. So we've got the menu icon size. Now I like things in alphabetical order, so what I'm going to do, it's just to help me find stuff. Alright, so we've got the menu icon size now. That should work. A treat, so there we go. If we actually increase this past a certain point, it should. Oh, it doesn't. Oh. Now, I'm just wondering how I can fix that. It might be the case that I fix it up down here and I specify the width and height in the CSS. In which case, what I would do is I would get rid of this. I'll do the 16. Actually, no, I would default that to, what did we have it before? 36. All right, and then when we're going down here, this would be the show menu. So if we have a look at this, that will be the show menu, and then we need an SVG, and then we'll essentially on here go width. Let's go 5 pixels and height in 5 pixels. We'll specify it in CSS. So down here, I just need to go SVG. I'm just wondering if we are doing a media thing in here. We are not. So what I've got to do is at media, small screen, height is going to be 16 pixels and width is going to be 16 pixels. And what I'll do is I'll just flip those. All right, so if I go back over here, I'm just going to refresh to lose everything. So on that, we've got the 800, yep, cool, and then it increases, sweet. Now I'm just going to refresh this. The reason being is I'll tackle just this bar first, and then I'll tackle the nav bar, which is just moving stuff down slightly and fixing that up, and then I'll tackle I shouldn't need to tackle anything else, because yeah, that should be fine. Famous last words. All right. I just need to handle this over here now, which once again is just plain old CSS. So we've got it at 36 at the moment. Saying 32. NearBeach logo. Oh, that's the NearBeach logo. Whoops, my bad. Down here, the profile. What I want to do, I want to bump into this. I want to do an at media. We want to do a small screen. Once again, so totally used to doing .NET. Whoops. There we go. We want to, do width 32, height 32, and we're pretty much happy with all those. Now we've just got to edit these. I'm going to start off with something pretty big. I'm going to do 52. Probably not going to use that. Ooh. Almost works. Almost works. Yeah, I'm going to do 48. Almost in there. It's just not fitting. I'm just going to do something weird. Bear with me. We're just going to go up 1 pixel. Let's go up 1 more. Right, I think that works. 50-50. It does look like it sits in there very well. It sits a little bit higher up. I'm just going to double check the profile stuff. There's nothing on the profile. If I do margin auto, on both of those. That should sit better in there. I might need to do height 100%. I mean, it's just a pixel off, which is really annoying. I don't think I can do much more on that. Okay, cool. I'm gonna say this is okay. Yeah, I couldn't move that down, but that's fine. Now we've got to deal with the nav bar. So the nav bar is going to be pretty easy to do. Let's just put that straight onto there. We want the nav bar. As you can see, it's the height. So we move this from the top. What we need to do is just move it down to that there. So we need 60 pixels for the nav bar. So we'll open up the nav bar. Go into source, go into our components, go into our nav. This is the nav component. All right, so once again, we can start nesting stuff in here. That should be going under the nav, so I'm just going to cut that out. Paste that in. We're just going to format stuff very, very quickly. Pretty much all of this will go under here again. Format it out. So we've got the navbar menu. These should belong under there. And the reason why I'm doing this is so I can see the hierarchy of all the objects. Later on, I might want to get rid of stuff and simplify this. So instead of having nav bar, have menu, I might just have menu. And then I might have list and menu list or setting list or something like that. So to simplify the CSS. But at the moment, this is perfectly fine. This should still just work. So we go over here. Oh, all right, we've broken it. So navbar open. All right. All of this needs to go, no, I've forgotten one key thing. Because these are all nested. We need to tell the system, yeah, these are nested. It isn't like SAS. Now, I don't know if I need a double one here. I'm under the belief I do. So I'm just going to refresh. All right, show menu. Where's our nav bar? The height 100%. We don't actually have I think it's just this. I think I've mucked up this one. Yeah, I've just mucked up that one. All right, so everything's nested now. So straight off the bat, what we want to do is we've got the display, we've got the height, we've got the width, the calculation. That's going to be 60 pixels. We are dealing with 60 pixels now. That's pretty much it. Go back in here, boom, perfect. Now I'm going to bring those down just a little bit. So inside the nav bar, we can actually have padding at the top and the bottom. So on here, we've got padding 0 top and 4 on either side. But down here, what I kind of want to do is padding. I'm going to go 10 pixels for the top. I'm going to go 4 pixels for the side. I'm going to go 0 pixels for the bottom, and then another 4 pixels. Now we don't need the PX right there. That's perfectly fine. We'll leave it like that. Easy done. All right, going over here, we're just going to hit refresh. We're just going to click on this. Now, I don't see that padding, which makes me a little concerned. And also, this one down here is a bit off. So, I've definitely screwed something up. Okay, we do actually have padding. It might be the case where all right, so I don't think this padding is working. No, not a problem. We'll just delete it. That's fine. All right, we're going to go back over here. We're just going to hit refresh to refresh everything. I don't know why these are off center. I think I've definitely done something. So yeah, I think it's to do with this, the settings list. So what I might do is I might get rid of that. I think that was the problem. We're just gonna go over here. We're just gonna hit refresh just in case. No, all right. So we're gonna have a look at this very, very quickly. We can see the navbar settings. There's nothing. Yeah, we don't have anything in there for it. All right, so not a problem. What we're going to do, we're going to have a look at this. So we've got navbar menu. All right, cool. No, I figured it out, but it's ad time. Yeah, for those on YouTube wondering what's happening, we have ads every half an hour on Twitch. That's just to stop the pre-rolled ads because the pre-rolled ads suck. That's all. So yeah, otherwise you get to see me for a little bit. And yeah, we do this so no one is out on any content. We also have Socks here today. She's here most of the times anyway, and there she is. Hey, Socky Poo. She's at shop. Yep. She's like, hello. Easy done. All right, we've got about 45 seconds left. Oh. Hopefully everyone's going well on this Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. I don't know. Yeah. We'll get this done and out the door. And then the next thing is actually looking at designs and the user flow of how we want people to use NearBeach, or what would make sense and stuff like that. So yeah. All right, how are we with the ads? We're about 9 seconds away. And welcome back, everyone. All right, and thank you very much. Welcome. Thank you very much for the follow. I do hope you are enjoying my content. So the problem is, we've got the navbar menu, and then we've got the settings one too, and they're two completely and utter completely different things. So we've got the navbar menu, that's a height and all that kind of stuff. And then we've got this, which is meant to appear in 2 places. So this might be one of those things that we just have to sort of place down here. We'll do this. We'll get rid of that. And yeah, that should be fine. Now, I'm not getting any chats on my end. There we go. All right, so if we go back over here, everything's looking a lot better. Now, I'm gonna keep this out because yeah, it's referenced in 2 places and it's the exact same sort of code in there. So yeah, on-screen celebrations, did they work? I didn't see if they worked. But thank you very much for the bits, I greatly appreciate it. So yeah, everything we get in on this stream, we actually put towards this project. So yeah, I don't know if I didn't see them. They do work. Ah, cool, awesome. I just didn't see them. So yeah, I'm glad that they do work. And welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content as we sort of implement feedback we got for this. So I've moved stuff down. And then top is 60. However, on a small screen now, we've got to do the heights and differences and so forth like that. So now we've got to do a calc. There'll be 100 view height minus 45 pixels. And then the other thing will be a top 45 pixel. So we won't do the padding on that one. But if we open up that's still looking really, really good. And then we open it up like that, that's still looking really, really good. So what I might do is I might add in a bit of margin, 15% on that little section there. So on the navbar menu, what we want to do is have a navbar menu list. Actually, I'm putting something ridiculous in there at the moment just to see what it'll look like and how it will behave. So that does work. We can then bump that down to 15 because I think 15 was a really, really good one. However, when we're using a small screen or bigger, I'm doing the C# stuff again. What we want to do, margin top, we'll bump that down to 5 pixels. Something small. So it's there, you sort of notice, but it isn't as noticeable. And then down here, you're like, all right, cool, yep. Gives it enough space off the menu. And thank you very much for being subscribed for 1 month. So yeah, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content. And how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. All right, I think that looks a lot better now. I'm gonna bump over to browser stack. We're gonna bump over into the, an iPhone again. And yes, thank you very much for subscribing. So yeah, it's awesome. Thank you. All right, what we want to do, local testing. This should just work. Famous last words. I think I've still got it running. I probably don't anymore, so just run it again. There we go. All right. Now we just have to play the waiting game as everything boots up. It's like the old meme with the stick figure poking something, going, "Come on, do something." Is this one turned off? We have had issues before. All right, usually switching devices works. So yeah, there we go. Unable to display this page, verify the URL is added. Alright, I am just going to grab this. And I am the dev Alex. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully you're going well. Oh, I've broken stuff. Select all. Just going to paste that in. I think that will work. No, it doesn't like it. All right, cool. Whenever this happens, oops, wrong commands there. I'll just do that. I hope for the best. Show me potato salad. We've also got socks right here. She's making sure everything's working. Clearly it isn't, so yeah. Fair enough, so you're still awake, yep. So am I. But then again, it's only 7:30 here. She is helpful. Sometimes. All right, I might need a new binary for this particular one. Oh, local testing has been enabled. All right. But also at the same time, I'm just getting a blank screen. You'll be in bed. I mean, you could always do the Fox Mulder thing and sleep on the couch. No, to XX96. No, I'm using VueJS. At the moment, we're trying to test my application using browser stack, but it's just not wanting to work at the moment. So I'm going to stop session. I am going to jump onto a completely and utterly different device. We'll test it on Firefox. 2:37 a.m. there. Oh, fair enough. That is pretty late or early, depending when you woke up. All right, show me potato salad. Android, come on. It'll be 12:30 for Chris. I'm 2 hours ahead of him. Oh, okay, so yeah, you're more. Are you in the mid? Or are you East Coast? I don't know the time zones yet of the US. My guess would be mid. When our skate sessions would be ending. Yeah, fair enough, yes. Central, all right, yeah. All right, I am having massive problems with getting browser stack to run. I am going to do the good old clear site cookies. They're for all primary zones. All right, don't look in how many time zones Australia has. All right, this is my usual time zone rant. So, you got an island called Lord Howe Island, which is part of New South Wales. All right, this guy's all the way over here. All right, see there. So the distance from there to Sydney, and Melbourne's here. All right, that's a fair chunk. So that's all one time zone with. Each state has their own time zone, but we sync up all the times, excluding Queensland, which doesn't do daylight saving. So currently at the moment they're an hour behind. So for them it's 6:30. But excluding daylight savings and all that kind of stuff, Melbourne, Sydney and Lord Howe Island have the same time at the moment. And you might be wondering, all right, there's Adelaide over here. Surely they're a bit different time. Yes, they are. I think they're half an hour behind. All right, reasonable, half an hour behind. You're like, all right, cool. Then you've got Perth over here, which doesn't do daylight savings. However, that also being said, you've got a little time zone down here. There's a little different time zone down here, and I think it's 45 minutes or something really random, different compared to everything else. As Australia just has weird time zones. So yeah, it's weird that, you know, something go all of that distance is the same time, and then, you know, you apply that anywhere else and they're like, nah, that doesn't make sense. Struggling to choose between iOS native development or going for Web React and React Native. Any advice? Oh, all right. It's going to be a bit weird sort of device. It requires you to do a little bit of research. I'm assuming that you want to build applications and stuff like that, or you're building little tiny projects for fun and to also eventually get a job. I'm assuming the latter at the moment. What you can do is you can go to any sort of job application form, use it between iOS native, and what I would do is sort of search for those languages and see how often they appear, and then probably pick something for that. Otherwise, you could do it the fun way. All right, I've done something like this in the past where you can put in the languages like this and you just spin the wheel and you pick whichever one that pops up. The good news is, too, pun intended, is what you learn for one particular framework or language and stuff like that has a lot of transferable knowledge into other frameworks and languages. So for example, a while loop acts the same in multiple different languages. It's just syntax differences. Methods and all that kind of stuff will act the same. They're just syntax differences. So yeah, I wouldn't stress too much on picking a language. Usually when I do another project or something like that, I will pick a new language, mainly because I want to actually learn those particular languages or frameworks. And a lot of the times it's just that random. So yeah. Seems we have 6 and they're a weird split when you get to the, yeah, time zones are weird. Yeah, they are. Because people just draw lines on the sand and be like, all right, cool, it's gonna be this time right now. I mean, I can understand it, but at the same time it does annoy me a bit. So yeah. Alright, so we've just done that one. I was just thinking, what else was I going to do with this? Oh yeah, I was going to test it on the phone, the browser stack stuff. Alright, so I cleared the cookies and the stuff just in case I had anything. Alright, I gotta log out. Not a problem. Cleared the cookies just in case the cookie was just causing a problem. I'm gonna sign in. Sorry, I've got to do, oh, not that one. We're not booting up. Got to do this screen, just because I don't want to accidentally dox my number. I'm assuming that was the correct email. I'm trying to remember what email I used to sign up. But, oh well, I signed in with one. Alright, there we go. I think it was just a bad cookie. Socks, can you not eat my sticky notes? Okay, we've got a pink screen, which just means that that's just the basic inline stuff. Oh. That socks. Socks. Can you not eat mine? Look, you're getting in trouble. Everyone's judging you now. It's my list of recommended TV shows. All right, we do have a problem down here where it is actually showing the hot pink come through. That is sort of interesting. Okay, and this is why we test using Browser Stack, is we find these sort of weird issues. This is working perfectly fine. This looks actually really, really good. We can go to new project by just clicking on that, and that will do that. We will be implementing skeletons and so forth like that, so whenever someone does click on something, the skeleton will instantly appear. So that way, if we do have a loading screen like we just did, then we can, you know, make it look like it loads a lot faster. So to do that, we'll be using the suspense, the view suspense. All right. As you see, that took a little while, and that just felt slow and tedious. But if we go back to here again, it's instantaneous because it's just downloaded all the JavaScript and CSS for that particular route. As you can also tell, I have been playing around with the translation stuff. So, yep. I still need to read more of the documentation around the translation sort of stuff. But once again, we're doing a vertical slice. We will perfect this in the vertical slice, and we'll figure out how we want it to work for going forward for all our components. All right, so yeah, we've got a weird thing at the very, very bottom. I'm just gonna go over here. I'm gonna bump that off to the right because you guys don't need to see that. I'm going to just take this. We are using DVH on here. So if you guys don't know what that is, so instead of view height, you've got like it's called display view height? I keep forgetting what it's called. That's actually, dynamic view port units. All right, cool. That's mainly used for the iPhone, where it's got that little thing that comes down and so forth like that. It did cause issues with the current version of NearBeach, which is why we're using the dynamic view height. For example, on the Kanban board, the lovely swim lanes weren't lining up correctly and were actually overlapping the cards. Working perfectly fine on every other platform, just not on iOS. So yeah, hence now we use DVH. And I don't know why it's not popping all the way down there. So I'm going to open up the DevTools on this combination. Damn it. All right, not a problem. What I want to do is I want to go back to iOS, and I do want to test this on Safari. So we are going back here. Now I don't have an iPhone, I've got an Android, hence I'm not too worried about testing this on Android, but it'll be interesting to see if that pops up too on Android. On my Android. All right, once again, we've got to click on this. We're going to go to our local host. I'm just going to go over here. I'm just going to copy all of that, and I'm just going to click on that and paste that and click enter. All right, cool. Now we wait. Oh wait, it couldn't connect to there. All right. Oh, hang on. Got a little, there we go, just took a little while. Oh. I might have to test this on my iPad. All right. this is a bit weird. And I don't know if it's the phone or let's jump onto an iPad. All right, let's switch browser. Let's go iPad. Let's go. Let's not do a Pro. Let's do. I think I've got a 9th gen. I'm trying to think where my iPad currently is. It's not there. It's in the living room. All right, cool. Oh, facing issue scrolling. All right, cool. Thank you. It's just going to load up. Socks. Please don't sit on my keyboard again. Hello. Not having much luck tonight. All right. Is it booting up? Is local testing going to work? Maybe. Let's should work here. If I actually delete everything and I hit refresh, at the moment it is sending 5.63 megabytes, but that's because I'm in dev mode. We are expecting that to be rather large. And yeah, all right, cool. Oh, that's a big yawn, Socks. She's like, yeah, I know. Yes. Oh. Really? Okay. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, I don't know why that launcher hasn't opened up anything. Alright, let's just paste our URL in. Let's hit enter. Fox is trying to look cute. She's like, yeah. Can't be reached. Let's open up our local testing. Our local testing should be running. Oh, we don't need that. Now that I've unticked that, it just resets everything. Alright, that's annoying. Okay, it's just doing that. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to go live start broadcast. I don't know why that's doing that. Alright, stop. Minimize everything. Yeah, let's just open up Chrome. Click down here. Paste everything in, hit enter. Can't reach it, but we should be. Definitely don't want to throttle anything. Yeah, we should be doing local testing. Let's see if any other addresses work. Google. Okay. Yeah, all right. It's just local testing is not wanting to work. I could always do the kill that, redo it. All right. Let's see if it'll do it. Worst case scenario, if it's not wanting to connect to my local, I'll build it and I'll shove it up on our dev environment. That will actually take me very little time. I can get that set up right now. All right. the localhost off the top of my head. Sorry, 5173. If I say that enough, it will work. All right, cool. It's not wanting to connect to my local device. I'm just going to stop the session. I'm going to say stop the session completely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. I'm just going to cancel that one. We don't need it running anymore. I'm going to cancel this one. What we're going to do is remove the dist folder. Easy done. Socks is running away. npm run build. So that's actually going to build everything for me. And as you see, it takes a very short time. I'm loving this considering it. Build with the Webpack took forever. But that being said, we haven't incorporated all of NearBeach into this just yet. Slowly. We want to get the design and the process working fine first. So what I want to do is I'm going to open up my folder. I'm going to go into sites. We've got our Vue testbed. We've got our mockup too. And here we have is our dis. Now I'm in my Azure environment right now. And what I'm going to do is delete all of that, delete that, and I'll delete that. And then I'm just going to drag and drop those onto there. And everything should work just straight away. If we go to robotichair.azurewebsites.net, what I can do is I can copy this for everyone. So you guys can actually visit this too. If you've got any feedback, feel free to give me feedback on our Discord. I'm definitely wanting feedback. I'm terrible at UI UX, so if you got any feedback whatsoever, I would be greatly appreciative of it. All right, we're going to start this again. We're just going to go into that version. We're going to try and replicate those issues. I'm also going to try and replicate those issues on my phone too, but I will show you guys. Give me a couple of seconds. Sorry, I'm just putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. No one needs to see my notifications pop up. Okay, so Fox. This is taking forever too. I'm just gonna do that again. We are going to click on Chromium. We are going to click on this. We're just going to type in robotichair.azurewebsites.net. Now, one thing is, I'll just go over here and show this. So at the bottom, I'm not seeing that pink stuff. It might be because I'm on a very early version of the fold. That could be it. So going back here, we've got this up. So as you see, this is looking really, really nice. Don't worry about the pink stuff at the bottom. All right, so when you scroll down, it's not, okay, cool. So, oh, we've just hit an ad break. Well, be careful, Socks. All right, for those on YouTube wondering what's happening right now, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch. That's just to stop the pre-rolled ads, which suck. We do this so no one misses out on any content. So yeah, no, subscribe, you don't get ads anyway. So yeah. All right, cool. Going back into here, yeah, I can see that. Oops, I'm gonna. Oh, that's. Hang on. Way too bright. That's. Oh, way too dark. All right. Yes, that's better. All right. So like that. As you see, I don't see the hot pink down at the bottom. I do see the menu bar and all that kind of stuff down there. When I scroll down, I do notice that the height continues down. and I don't actually have anything down there, which is pretty interesting. And then also, if you notice on the top, the dashboard itself gets stuck up there. I'm kind of like, these are little tiny things I need to sort of fix before I actually start everything. But the buttons are a lot better. Everything's actually quite fast because I'm in Australia and the server's in Australia. You guys might have a little bit of lag. Once again, I want to implement the skeletons, so when that lag actually happens, you guys will not think it's lag. Alright, so we do have a little bit of stuff at the bottom, but otherwise, the issues I had with this is solved. We've still got more issues. Sorry, the issues I had with the nav bar are solved on the menu. Oops, no. All right, do I want to get rid of all of that? And now it's just taking forever to load. All right, cool, I don't mind. I'm getting off my phone. So, yeah. And I don't know what it is at the bottom. Ah, damn it. The next thing I gotta do is try and replicate it on my iPad. I will be right back. Sorry, I will get my iPad. I should have got it during the break. Alright, cool. Ooh, I gotta charge this thing too. Alright. Let's open up Safari. Actually, I gotta close a couple of these tabs. Close that. Close that. Close that. Oops, alright, cool. Sorry, I just got to put on No, not that. Once again, I don't want these notifications popping up. Close that. Come on, let me, nope. All right. Let's see how this goes. Did that. Don't know how the camera looks. All right, let's. I really need a new web camera soon, but I can replicate. I can replicate it when I do something like that, going down into there, and then that not actually sort of settling at that level. Not snapping back to it, which is something I've got to fix. If I do something like that, yeah, if the user goes to the end of the page, I kind of want not to have it like that. But otherwise, as you see, this is pretty quick. There was some slowness then when I first loaded the new project. So if I, oh yeah, because this is not running on any sort of backend sort of stuff. This is just an index on a page and stuff like that. The routing doesn't work, but that's perfectly fine. I think I can probably set up Azure to always just point at the index file and then let it handle all the routing and stuff like that. I mean, it won't take me too long to actually look that up. That's probably something. So I can't show this next section with you guys, but yeah, if I hit project, new project, it sort of worked pretty quickly. Those, once it actually has the JavaScript there, it's pretty instant. Now, if I click on the new project, it's instant now, but when I first do it, it is just that fraction of a second. And that's where I want the suspense to actually sort of work. Just because they'll be very small, the suspense, it'll just be a little waiting sort of screen or something like that. Nothing exciting. All right, I am just gonna double check with my, this is part of the configuration preview. This is part of the path mappings. No, not error pages. Path mappings, mount storage, let's use, all right, no, I don't need mount storage. Stack settings is I mean, I'm using PHP, but in reality, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to update that stack settings. Yeah, well, I don't have much on here. In the sense of what options I have. Now I've just, not a problem, just broken everything, as I tend to do. It's because with the Azure setup, what I've done is I've gone in and I've changed a few things. I am just going into my SEM, or Kudo, or however you want to call it. All right, we're in the file manager system. Everything's still there. All right, let's have a look to see if I've broken it. All right, it looks like it's come back. Just not on my tablet for some reason. It's cached, possibly. There we go, there we go. Yeah, app's waiting. All right, cool. Cool, so if I get out of that and I do something like that, and then I go into the file manager itself, site, www root, we've still got our old stuff there. So I'm going to get out of that completely. I'm going to open up a, yeah, all right, so it's done that. And Nocturnal, how are you going? Hopefully you're going well. I am just uploading the latest mock-up. All right, I'm just gonna delete that. All right, hang on. If I go down here, let's just hit refresh. That should break. I'm just testing this out. Index.html. No, didn't. All right, so I've got this. That's perfectly fine. I'm just wondering if I can share this with you guys. Possibly not, because I've got instance numbers and all that kind of stuff in it. Environment, Unix, got all of that. But I'm not seeing this HTML page yet. I'm still seeing the old folder. All right. You're okay? Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, I can't complain. Just busy at the moment. Got a deployment, which I just want out the door. Yeah, it's getting a thorough testing. Let's just say that. I meant to go out yesterday, but something happened. Nice catching a stream. I'm gonna head to sleep for a couple. Oh, fair enough. Thank you very much, Alex. So yeah, I'll see you my Sunday, which is your Saturday. So yeah, unless you're here again on my Friday, your Thursday. Well, technically, it will be your Friday also. Yeah. Anyway, have fun. Now I don't know why it's not picking up this anymore. All right, I can share the file manager. Let's do this. If I click on the file manager, this is all the basic sort of stuff in here. This is where Azure Web Apps likes to keep their stuff. I'm expecting just one file in here, and that file will be this. So yeah, I don't know why it's not there. Now, the next thing I could potentially do is I could just turn off the app and wait for the blue screen of death. So that way I know it's powered down. Because I have switched technology on it, it could just be, SEM could be taking a little while to catch up. All right, so it's definitely stopped. We're gonna restart. Thank you, Alex. And you have a nice sleep, so yeah. All right, now I'm just gonna wait a little while. Okay, it's just booting up. That's a good sign. Wait until I don't want to get into the SEM there. All right, SEM, yeah, because it does actually have quite a lot of my information on it. So what I want to do, I just want to jump into the SSH for a moment. And I want to go down here. It's still booting up this application whilst this is all running and stuff like that. I can stop the session here. So yeah, we'll stop the session. That way it isn't going to time out or anything like that. And I'm not using up all the minutes. All right, SSH closed. Ah, boo. Let's open up another SEM. I'm going to go into the bash. All right, so I want to go into the sites, www.root. I am still seeing my index and assets in there. Now, I've done this before where I've just had a basic .NET sort of backend and I've just had an index in there. But I don't know why it's all like this. All right, city. We've got deployments, we've got locks, we've got repository. All right. All right, yep, cool. Worst case scenario, I can go back to configuration preview. Stack settings, no path mappings. No error pages. No general settings. All right, cool. I'm just going to bump it back to PHP. Easy done. Yeah, it just means I've screwed up the something here. Not a problem. Just wanted to see if the .NET will automatically just load up the index page and stuff like that. What we could do is PHP server load index.html no matter what. And use instead of that. What I want to do is don't know what type of startup command I could potentially use. Essentially, I kind of want everything. I just want it to give the person the index.html file no matter of the route. Alright, not a problem. Let's go back over here. Let's see if it comes back up. There we go. It's back up. Everyone can go visit it now. Alright. There we go. There it is again. Just in case you missed it. Because I've broken it. Alright, cool. So yeah, on certain devices we can definitely see the pink at the bottom. Oh, that page is definitely... because I need to go to the end. Alright, that might actually be a thing I could fix. Azure Web Apps, default 404 page. Alright, error pages. Now, configure a custom HTML document that will be presented to users instead of standard platform alert. Get more information. All right, custom error pages requires a premium service plan. Yeah, I don't have that. All right, cool. Yep. Well, I wonder if. They're using Nginx though. Alright. I know that they're using Nginx because if we actually go into here and let's say we go into a new project and we refresh this page, we get the 404 Nginx. Nginx startup commands to set custom 404 page. Alright, I don't know if this will work. I should read the documentation first. So, custom startup. All right, let's bump it so you guys can actually read it. I'll bring back the YouTube so I don't miss any comments. So in here, show the PHP version. We don't need to show the PHP version or anything like that. Configure PHP app in that. We are on Linux. We're going to use the portal for this. Don't you worry. Oh, sorry. We go. All right. Custom startup. Yeah, but what are my commands that I can use? Like, all right, cool. All right, run cast. All right, nope. Web framework of the choice might suddenly subdirect as it. For example, Laravel uses the public subdirectory as the site root. The default PHP image app services use Nginx. You can change the site root by configuring. All right, cool. The example of the config file. So. By default, this contains user configuration, site default, any edit to, yep, all right, cool. All right, CPU, and service, all right, cool. So, root default. we're gonna cheat. All right. Azure Web Apps, Next Engine, PHP, default 404 page with startup. What do they call it? The start commands. All right, show the publisher is located. Yep. All right, cool. All right, yep. Customize the Nginx. All right, cool. We don't have access to that. In your Azure App Service to copy your custom Nginx configuration file into the correct location and reload. All right. Yeah. All right. It's annoying, but plausible. Maybe a little too much work for today though, so let's move on. All right, cool. So yeah, it is something we could potentially do, or I want to have a quick look at SEM again. Because they were I want to do something weird. Sorry, give me a couple of seconds. So copy. So I'm going to copy the Nginx stuff. I'm going to put it in home site and I'm going to call it Nginx custom config. I don't think this will work, but we're going to hit apply. That's going to update and reset everything and we'll find out in a couple of minutes. All right, so I'm happy with this. This looks really, really nice on both platforms. And the best thing is I could do another level for tablet because the buttons are just that little bit tiny. So yeah, I could fix that up. I'm going to put you on that. Now, I do need to charge you, but I don't have the cord in here. All right. Actually, no, I do have the cord. It's over there. Give me a couple of seconds. Sorry, I'm just getting a bunch of things all at once. Okay, you can plug into that, and then you can get charged. Okay, that should have restarted by now. It's not a, oh, unable to connect. Ew. Oh wow, it did actually copy it over to, oh wow. All right, that is something which might cause an issue. Oh. So here's what they've got for their Nginx type of thing. So we've got index. All right, so that goes through all of that. That's the root. Yep, cool. Server name. We're actually going to be explicit with this. Port redirect, index, and all that kind of stuff. Now, Nginx, we've got the error page. So we've got error pages, all of those like that. We're essentially going error page 404. It's going to be index.html. Do that. Gonna let that do its thing. All right, redirect server 404 error to the index page. Routing will take over. Easy done. All right, so all of that should be hunky-dory. I'm just going to save this. And it's this command that actually sort of kick the ball off. I'm gonna insert that now. All right. So from there, because we don't want it on the root level, custom config. What did I name it? Yep, I did name it that. Into that and Nginx reload. All right, cool. I'm gonna hit apply. Just use it to wait a little while. Okay. And the idea is when this 404 actually happens, it's just gonna produce the index page, which will be perfectly fine. Because all of a sudden, you know, index page, boom, the routes will take over. Well, that's the theory. Now, I don't know how long this server takes to refresh. So what I'm going to do is the good old stop. Yeah, as you see, sometimes it just takes a little while to do anything, so that's perfectly fine. We'll just do something like this. I did stop the robotic head app. It's probably, all right, we'll wait for it to fully shut down. We can close all of these. I'm happy with that. I'm gonna leave browser stack open for a little bit longer. Oh, and we've just hit another ad break. All right. So yeah, welcome back. I'm realizing that my hair is all over the shop tonight. For those on YouTube wondering what's happened, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch. We do this so no one misses out on any content. The ads are there to stop the pre-rolled ads, which suck. So yeah, and it's only 90 seconds worth of ads. We get to see me and I just talk about stuff. So yeah, the other thing I want to discuss tonight also is the user experience and the flow of NearBeach. So when someone comes in, they instantly go, let's say, to the dashboard, and they're like, I want to create a new project. What steps are going to do to get that? What else could we potentially do for that? Is it going to open up a new page? Is it going to open up a modal, so they don't lose their place? Stuff like that. So yeah, we've also got to figure out how we can stop people from navigating away from unsaved data, and have something pop up to be like, hey, are you sure you want to move away from this? So yeah. All right, we've got about 15 seconds left. I'm just going to see if my app has yep, it's It's done. Oh, the license elsewhere. Reactivate. Thank you very much. All right, welcome back everyone. So it's now back down. We're going to hit the start button. This will take a couple of minutes to reboot. So whilst we're waiting for it to reboot, the other thing I wanted to sort of discuss tonight and start opening up as a discussion on Discord is the flow of NearBeach. So when you go onto NearBeach and you're like, I want to create a new project, how that looks and how that will behave. And for example, you might be, let's say you're on a project and want to create a task, but you don't want to actually create a task and then link it into that current project. So you could be like, all right, cool. How would you do that so it's a one-step sort of process? Other things I want to have a look at too is removing any fields that are not needed at the start. So for example, do we really need a description? Is that stopping people from quickly creating task after task after task and then filling it out after the fact that it's been made? Because they might come up with a title, they want to just hit save and go and just move straight into it. Yeah, or when they click for creating a new task or something like that, does it automatically create that task that is just completely and utterly empty, and the person fills it out and it saves it as, yeah, I've just got to figure this out. And hello Hansel Dev, welcome back, how are you going? We're just waiting for our web app to pop back up. It's taken forever. So yeah, if anyone has any ideas about how that user experience should go, feel free to hit us up on our Discord. Because yeah, I do want to hear back on that. In the meantime, actually, I better, test is down. Demo will be up, but I just want to double check someone hasn't done something silly on it. Give me a couple of seconds. All right, we're just looking at new project at the moment. All right, so, oh, and our invite app's back. All right, cool. So if I go to new project, there's that. If I go refresh, didn't work, damn it. All right. I was hoping that would work. Oh, no problem. Once again, we're not hosting this on anything. It's not sort of handling everything how we want it to. Yeah, it's fine. I'll figure something out. This is only a mock-up. It's only a test. So yeah. Anyway, going back to the new project. So for example, if a user clicks on a new project, let's say they're on the new app and they're like, I want to click a new project, and they click that little button right there. All right. How will this screen look? How will it interact with users? What fields and data are we collecting? So in the past, we essentially collected pretty much everything. So we collected the project name, project description, project start and end date. We had the groups that it was connected to and the stakeholder organization. So we had quite a lot a user needed to fill out before they could create a project. I'm trying to rethink this. I'm thinking this might be one of those sort of cases where we need to change this up a little and also discuss what fields can be changed in the future. So, and what fields should be now optional. So back when I first was building out NearBeach and so forth like that many years ago, I was using an application where you always have to fill out all the dates and all that kind of stuff. And that knowledge sort of passed in with me into NearBeach. Now, lately I've been thinking the dates could be optional. We could potentially just make them optional. That way a user could clear them out and then set them when appropriate. Now the sprints will require dates. So when the user uses the sprint sort of stuff, we need to flag to the user, these don't have dates, these need to be set, and the user should be able to do that. They should be able to click on the little screen and then drag out the dates wherever they want to. So that won't be a problem, and then that will have the date in the system and so forth like that. So yeah. So I think the between dates might be optional at this particular point. Group permission is definitely needed. Now, description, I don't think it's needed. Not when creating a new project or anything like that. We definitely need like the title, so someone will type in the title, and then what they will also need to do is organization. I don't know if this will be, so currently at the moment, if you set the organization incorrect, you essentially just complete the project and move on to another one, create another one and do the correct organization and so forth like that. Not ideal at all. So if you pick the wrong sort of thing, so for example, there's 2 NearBeaches in here, which shouldn't actually happen, organization uphill or something like that. You might want to change which organization you're connected with in the system, especially if you haven't created it yet. So yeah, I've been thinking whether or not this ends up on the new screen, or what will most likely happen if we move it out of the section completely and put it somewhere else. So you can create projects and tasks and stuff like that that don't get connected to an organization. And then you can then sort of, much like now, at the moment, if you create, let's say, a project or something like that, you won't be able to change that organization, and you go to a tab and you can connect all your customers that live under that organization. I could move that stakeholder organization information down into a similar component like that and deal with that there and just call it stakeholder section, or we'll come up with a name later. That also, if you then make a mistake and pick the wrong organization, I should enable or allow users the ability to update that with ease. It does mean that it does change the API a little bit, because currently at the moment the API expects an organization, and we won't be doing that anymore. We also need to figure out a way of how we can update that particular field. So if we're putting it in its own little section, it sort of needs its own little API endpoint where you can go, all right, cool, I'm just updating this. Yeah, I can have a Sentinel called no.org and default to that. I'm trying to remember, if we go over into NearBeach, there is a default now. Oh, sorry, big hard. New window. migrations, where are you? So initialize data, I think it is in where, maybe not in here. All right, but yeah, I think we do have a default one. Yeah, or could be a patch endpoint for the entire thing instead of its own. Yeah, and that might be a solution. But API aside and stuff like that, if you're using NearBeach and we got rid of the description for creating a new project, got rid of the description, got rid of the stakeholder, got rid of the between dates, and literally just had the, let's say, the project name or project title, which it'll be called, and who has permissions to it, so the group list, do you think that will be a better experience? Remember, this is just creating a new project, because we can default what's in the description just to make life easy. Yes, I am using Django as the backend. So yeah, we're using VueJS as the front end. We're currently redesigning pretty much everything of it. So Django will check if the user's logged in, send them to the login page if they're not. Otherwise, it'll send them a basic index page. There will be very little template rendering done on Django, and then it hosts both the API and the static files, which, you know, will boot up the site. So yeah, I'm hoping to, once I figure everything out and sort of design everything, I'm hoping to get this started, hopefully by the end of this year. The design process is going to be tricky, and it is going to be a major change for NearBeach, but it's needed. I've learned a lot in the last couple of years, and I'm going to apply what I've learned. Yeah, NearBeach needs a massive improvement. All right, so I'm going to assume what I said makes sense. So if we just have, for when creating a new project, we just have project name and group permissions. That will make creating a project a lot nicer. Yeah. And we can mock something up quickly today. And yeah, all right, let's look at some designs. Let's do some research. So I'm just gonna go Tailwind CSS form designs. Let's have a look what else is out there. We can also use Tailblock CSS. All right, I'm just gonna bump that so you guys can see. So we've got some nice little forms here. We won't need something like that. I mean, sure. We need like project title and then a simple drop down. So, oh, that looks a bit, that doesn't work very well. Yeah, another thing which I should also end up doing is so I'm having a quick think. at the moment, what we do, if we go into the demo and stuff like that, with this, we pick those and then we can do it like that. And I mean, it kind of works. However, that being said, I probably will need a better way of actually doing that. And I can build up my own little component to do that, not a problem. Yeah. Ooh. All right, we're good. I've got to think, how will that look and work too? I can ignore the start dates and stuff like that for the moment. I've also got to think how this will work down here, all of that sort of design, because essentially what we end up doing is if we get rid of this row, let's delete this node, let's delete this node, let's delete this, let's delete that, let's delete that. I've deleted too much, but you'll have to use your imagination. There will be input there. It'll be just those two fields when creating stuff. And what I could potentially do is with the drop down, have it just as a simple sort of select drop down. And when someone picks something from it, it automatically adds it down here as a tag. I mean, it also does kind of work where it is at the moment. Let's actually have a look at multi-select. So, tailwind multi-select drop down designs. All right, let's see what other people have done. All right, drop down. Let's have a look at Flowbyte. Let's do that so you guys can actually see. If you guys have any recommendations, if it's, for example, it can be any type of framework where you're like, or a UI framework or something like that, and you're like, hey, have a look at this. Why don't you implement something like that? Send it through. Okay, I don't like the hover. None of these are standing out at the moment. They look more like the menu bar drop down type of thing. Not what I want. Definitely not what I want. Oh, hello. I mean, you're sure? I mean, that might work for me. Because you still got a search, you still got all of that. But I also need to show... How will that work on a mobile phone? Alright, yeah. Yeah, these are all like navbar type of things now. Alright, Flutter UI, right? I don't want the docs. I want your site. I want your examples. Alright, showcase. I don't know if they've got a dark mode. Sorry. Alright, let's go web. See the samples? Alright, cool. Drop down. Drag a UI element. Not what I want. Yeah, not what I want. Yeah, not what I want. No problem. I can go select. Don't want a parallelization effect. I just want multi-select design. All right. Yes, socks. I'm just gonna go multi-select designs. A lot of bright mode out there. Oh, it's actually picking me up. Oh, no, no. Alright. Hey, sweetie, what's the matter? No one giving you treats? Alright. Yes. You gotta look right into the wet. Oh, okay, you just wanted shoulder. Okay, that's fine. She gets shoulder. Not what I want. I just want designs. I want a multi-select. I mean, sure, but I kind of want it more of a drop down. I want to be able to search. All right. Kind of like, all right, yeah, I see that. I like that one, where it's got the ticks and so forth like that. But what happens when it closes? Where is that data going to show? And it could be one of those things where in the drop down it'll show all the ticks and so forth like that, but when it closes up, we could have a tag system at the bottom. It'd be great if I could play with that. I guess I can't. Oh, sorry, big call. We won't be streaming much longer. Going to go to bed. Bed early again. I can't find anything in there that I like. Oh, yeah, super zoomed in. Custom menus. Anywhere. Custom menus, default values, email, field types, global or reordering buttons, modified actions, on widget, global. Field types, email button, default values, custom menu. Yeah, no, I don't want all that. All right. I wanted. Not what I wanted, but. All right. Oh, AI to-do list. All right, now. Now I know React has one. React UI library. MUI. Someone has mentioned this one before. does look pretty cool. All right, let's have a look to see. Ooh, pricing. And how are you going, G-Brone? How are you? Hopefully you're feeling a lot better. All right. Yeah, I just want the data table charts, tree view, date time pickers. I'm gonna have to look at this. This is data grid. Selectizers are in there. Oops, data grid. Oh, I just saw them too. Oh my god. Collins row editing, selection. I think that's for tables and stuff like that. Nah, all right, cool. You're okay? Oh, that's good to hear. You use Mewtwo? Yeah, I'm just using it as a reference today to see what they're doing. I'm just getting design sort of inspiration. I'm a terrible designer, so I've got to look everywhere. So yeah, I haven't used this yet. What if you just use the native one? The drop down. Multi select. The reason why I'm doing this is I'm just going to copy this. Alright, we want to go into new project. I am just going to, whoops, didn't realize I was on that already. We'll just do that. We'll go over here. We'll make sure that we are on that. And hi, Mental Mirrors. How are you going? Sorry, you're a little bit hidden behind my webcam then. I hope you're not been waiting long. npm run dev, let's go back over here. Let's local host 5173. No, I'm thinking how to replace this. Because I probably won't use naive UI because I'm gonna have a problem trying to override a lot of the CSS so it looks like the design I want. So yeah. Yeah. All right, if I go to new project in here, so yeah, it's going to look like that, but I kind of want to, I can improve on that. Input date time. All right, let's just put that one in. I'll put it after. Did it again. And what I'll do is I'll do HRs in between all of these so we all know what's going on. There we go. Oh, we've just hit an ad break. All right, cool. Oh, wrong screen. Sorry. There we go. I've done that twice tonight. Twice. Haven't done it in so long. And then I do it twice in one night. Yeah, for those on YouTube, we run ads every half an hour on Twitch, because the pre-rolled ads. Yeah. The pre-rolled ads suck. We do this so no one misses out on any content. So yeah. Hopefully everyone's going well tonight. We are joined here today with Socks. There she is. She's helping with designs by just blocking half the screen so I can't see what's going on. So yeah. Oh, all right. I'm gonna bring that one down. And Socks, you are gonna get treats. All right, cool. I will gotta go into the secret screen for this one. We'll get her treats, but I will also at the same time in your bed. Actually, whilst we're doing that, I'm gonna, there we go, all right. I'm gonna do this because I know some people get very, very sick whenever I move the camera like that. They're like, bleh. Wait, socks. Yeah, out of the way. No, in your bed, there we go. Yep, go that way. No, back in your bed. Yes, the camera's out. No, don't sit on the mouse. All right, in your bed. In your bed. Stay in your bed. All right. Don't lift your paw out of the bed. There we go. Oop, I'll put this back on full screen. There we go. For those on YouTube wondering what's going on Twitch you get viewer rewards and you can redeem them to feed my cat treats. She really loves the treats. What? She'll just quite literally just eat them straight away. I'm surprised Max hasn't come running in. He's probably asleep. Or maybe not hungry. Alright. And now she just licks the bed. And me too. Alright, so I've just put that over here. I'm just going to hit refresh. We are going to just zoom all the way in. I like that. That's pretty cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to test it on... I don't have access to the... Hang on, I'll tell you what I can actually do. I can quickly push that code. Sucks, I need my hand. Thank you. Alright, give me a couple of seconds. How's Paddy? He is no longer throwing up, which is nice. Yeah, we think some cleaning products just did not agree with him and he ended up throwing up multiple times. Poor little guy. But he's feeling a lot better. Yeah, can run build. We're hoping he doesn't get sick again. Because at one point it was getting me a little bit worried. Because it's just constant. Each other, which is really nice. Alright, going to robotichead.azure or websites.net. This is just my testing site. We can go into new project. I'm just going to close this. I just want to see what this looks like on... Ooh. So it is completely and utterly native now. Oh, I like that. Done. All right, I like that. But yeah, the option drop down, I definitely don't like that. So yeah, that's something I will definitely definitely fix. Oh no. How did I get it up there before? Alright, sorry, I just realized the webcam itself is wrapped around the power cable. The only way to fix this is to pull out the power and unwrap it. But that's not happening on stream because my whole power will go out. Would be better for accessibility and also on work on mobile. Yep. So out of curiosity, I now want to see what that will look like on my phone. So I've got the Samsung. I think I got the Fold 4. Oh, cheers. Thank you very much, Nocturnal. I'll quickly have a look at that. Ooh, all right. Stability, performance, internalization. All right, cool. Cheers. Thank you very much. All right, in here, we want to click on this. We want to be like, I want to create a new project. I will need to style that, but that's perfectly fine. If this is doing that perfectly fine, then I'm actually happy with that. Awesome. Oh, Socks has just bumped into Patty. I am going to be right back. I'm terribly sorry. I've just got to make sure that these two don't start a fight. Now I have Patty. Okay, cool. I like that. That is awesome. I'm going to stop that session. What's the matter, buddy? Oh, hang on. Do you have something? Are you eating paper? Okay. So now I just need a multi-select drop down. And I'm just going to go. I mean, we've got that as an example. Yeah, I think we've got multiple. No, we don't. I'm gonna pick that in a minute. So you be nice. ID particular. Let's just go in here. Let's just go multiple. Let's fix all of that up. Let's go back down here. That's not my local. No, that's my local. There's my local. And yeah, it just looks like that, which, oh, G Bowen, all right, is the way you do it. All right, use effectively. Okay, yep, I see it. So you got a div. Yeah, no. Yeah. No, I think it's possible. So wherever the webcam is, there we go. All right. So I've got a couple of options, which is good. Multi-select though. Let's find something nice. Well, that's looking promising. I'm just going to do this so you guys can actually hopefully read with me. So that's a lot of stuff, but that's perfectly fine. I just want to see the final results. I can't interact with it. I mean, I like that design, but how will it look like on mobile phone? I like that one too. But I would want to search in there. All right, I'm just going to close Discord because that popped through. Creating dynamic sort of stuff. All right. Yep. I just want to interact with something though. Yeah, I've got to think about mobile and I've got to think about accessibility. So if someone were using a screen reader, how can I relay the information back to them around this? So, oh wait, do they have it here? Oh, yeah, they do. All right, cool. So we got the select fruits, and then I can go apple, and then we can do that, or I can select all, or I can select on. And what if I type in apple and then I click select all? I would have only selected all if on that filter, but that's just me. And the thing is, I wouldn't clear the search when someone clicks on something. Once again, that's just me. React select is a library you would want to do that. Awesome, thank you. Let's have a look. Oh, wrong screen. There we go. All right, cool. And I'm going to zoom in so everyone can see. So down here, all right, single. I like it, and then you can just click on the X to get rid of it. Cool, that's something. Yep, yep. They've got it like this, and then when you click on something, it automatically closes. It's annoying if you want to click on multiple, but you can also fast click to remove all of them, or single click to remove them like that. All right, and then that's pretty easy there. And we can build our own components too for this. Oops, sorry, I've just dropped my freaking pen. Oh, back crunch then. We would probably also want to do it so it's grouped. All right, colors and all that kind of stuff. All right, animation. That's also what I would want to do too, is I would want to shrink it down so that suddenly starts appearing up there. And then we can do stuff like this, easy done. Ooh, all right. That's an idea. Async. Okay. Oop, nearly threw the pen in my face. I like the fixed options. So one of the things which at the moment we do this with NearBeach is on a new project, if you remove the group that you're in on the page itself, so if I remove that one, it automatically tells you, hey, you can't do that. That's not possible. What we could potentially do is, let's say it's the last group that the user has access to is in there. We could turn it into a fixed sort of thing, so the user can't do that. And that's just all calculations. That's like, all right, cool. How many of those exist in that, and so forth like that. And if it's a one, or do it like that. And then we had the fallback to say, if the user has somehow manipulated something along the lines or something like that, where none of the groups exist in there, we can then throw up an extra warning being like, hey, you need to add your group back in. So yeah. Or if in the case that they were able to do that, we just add in all of their groups again. So yeah, we could be really sneaky about that. All right, got a couple of ideas. So it looks like we're still probably going to do something like this, where we can do it like that. Just how that works on mobile phones and stuff like that. I'm going to go back over here. We're just going to open up this. We are... just going to open up the screen for a second. Bear with me. I'm just making sure nothing spicy has been uploaded in that time. So I'm just going to go not prod. I want to go demo.nearbeach.app. I've got to fix the designs on this. I've already forgotten. Off. Sorry, what a little thing was just popping up. Building structure. All right, cool. Nothing has been popping up. So let's say new project. And thank you very much again, Nara. I'm terrible with new names. I'm very terrible. I do apologize. Narayana Nan. I'm terrible. But thank you very much for the 40 bits. Greatly appreciated. So yeah. Nara. Alright, cool. I can say Nara. Nara Yen N. Nara. Alright, cool. You should have seen me the other week. I couldn't say internationalization. It's just every single time I went to say it, I would trip up. So I'm just terrible at speaking English. So yeah, one problem I do have on the mobile phone at the moment is if something is like down here and I've got to do certain things, I feel like that is hard. And we definitely need a search functionality in that. Especially if they're on a mobile phone, that if they click on it, we kind of want it to sort of bring up the keyboard and put it in focus with the list and everything like that. And that way they can start searching. Same with on the keyboard and mouse. If they click the mouse on it, the focus gets put into that search bar, and then they can start searching for any groups. They should also be able to click on here to remove, because yeah, at the moment they can't really type in there. Yeah. I've got a lot to think of, don't I? All right. But I think we can do this. I think I can set up a widget. Should be, it should be, there's a lot of documentation on this. Shouldn't be too hard to do. We can have it so it does what we want it to, as for example like this, have it looking really nice. I mean, these look really nice too. Have it do something like that. I just need the search in there, because the one problem is there's a large organization, you can end up with a large amount of groups and variations of those groups too. So it could be that this particular person those particular organizations need that search in there, and we don't want to have it so it's up here. that's good. So yeah, that will work. I'll have to see what this does. Oh, sorry. And I'm just wondering. There might be some cases where I have to drop down, and when it's dropped down, we might need to trigger something. So, for example, if you change the organization or something like that, it will then trigger a what I'm trying to think of. It will do something, all right? That's what I'm trying to say. It will do something. It will send something off to the API, it will fetch some information or something like that. So, yeah. All right. Oh, and thank you very much for the 100 bits. Greatly appreciated. So, yeah, welcome, welcome. I need to do another GIF for bits and stuff like that soon. Because I've got the GIF for when people raid and join and stuff like that. I've got to do more better bit GIFs. Alright, so we will be finishing up very shortly. I'm just sort of thinking how all of this will sort of fit in and all that kind of fun stuff. So if we go over here, didn't I push the new stuff? Yeah, I did. All right, cool. If we go into here, so we won't have the date time stuff on the new page, but what we'll have is we'll have the multi-select. I do like that design from React. I don't like that one. Tailwind, I had this open to look at the forms and look at the form design and stuff like that. That's our next thing I gotta sort of do. Here's the form design. But we'll do that in a second. That one had nothing of anything. Yeah, we'll close that. That was, yeah, we'll close that. Yeah, I like the search in there. But then again, the React and the one that I currently use have the search. Oh, that one doesn't actually have a search. The React one. It doesn't have it in there, and yeah, it needs to kind of focus on there when someone opens up the thing. Yeah, all right. I've got a lot to think about. I can close these now. Let's just quickly focus on the form itself. So if we just have two particular fields, how will that look over here? And I mean, we could potentially do something like this, where the idea being is when someone clicks on it, it will sort of outline that you're on that particular field, and when you're not, it does all of that. So you can go head someone at somewhere.com example. So it's clearly showing you exactly where you are. We'll need to implement that. I kind of like that design. It's simple, it's easy. Once again, we're not collecting a lot of information. We will just have title, and I'm just tossing up in my head if we need instructions. So form design with instructions. Once again, we're doing a lot of Googling and all that kind of stuff where we just look at what other people have done. Yeah, I know, socks. So the errors themselves, all right, we won't need to worry about passwords just yet. All right, cool. Hey, sweetie, come on. Yeah, say hi to everyone again. All right. Now, at the moment, you'll probably notice, over here, we actually have some instructions for users. So, for example, the group permissions, add or remove groups from this project. Adding a group will allow users from that group to access the project. If you do not add one of your own groups, you will only get read-only access. No, that's a lie now. You can't do anything. You won't even have read-only access, you just can't. It will quite literally be, you will only be able to do that. Whoops. So I'm just having a quick think whether or not do you guys feel that I still need to keep the instructions in there? That will be a very good question. I need to have a look elsewhere. I know I saw this, I pretty much yanked this design from somewhere. It was either refactoring UI or there's a couple of designs I was following on Twitter. I'm going to have to research, see where I got this from, see if there's a better way to actually convey this information. Another thing which I should potentially do is have a look at the sort of hierarchy of all the fonts and so forth like that. I've got, like, for example, new project, that'll be great as a sort of thing. Be like, new project, done. Then you'll have like the type, and then you'll have the title, and then probably the instruction doesn't need to be as bold as it is, because you don't need to draw attention to it as much. So yeah, I don't think they're bad, but perhaps clutter up a bit. Yeah. The other thing is, if I do turn them off, yeah, I can do that. That's actually something we could potentially do. Yeah, well, I wouldn't say complex, because what I would do is I would have just a flag in the system, much like the nav bar, whether it's open or closed. I'll just have a flag in the system, and then they appear if it's turned on, and disappear if they're not. It just means I've got to design them both with and without. I could also shorten them down and also do something smart with them. So, for example, you know how with the passwords, when you type in the passwords and you got the little arrows popping up and down and so forth like that, I could introduce for the group permission an error sort of case where if the user removes, for example, all their groups that they have write permission to or create permission to, it'll pop up in like you have to actually add a group where you have create permission. Well, thinking you'll have to maintain multiple versions of the same page effectively. Yeah. Yeah. The other alternative is, we keep them in, but we sort of weight the font so they're not as noticeable. So it isn't the first thing that your eye gets drawn to. Initially, I put them there and I designed them like they are, so you get drawn to them, you read out what their instructions are, and then you fill out the fields. But I feel, or perhaps as a little toggle which explains, just have a little help toggle. I've just got to figure this out. So, yeah. I've got to do more research on it. Alright, and if you have any feedback, feel free to message us on the Discord to be like, hey, under the NearBeach dev channel, being like, hey, with the UI UX, I would recommend this, that, and so forth like that. We are wanting all the feedback possible. So, yeah. Anyway, it is 9:30. I am getting pretty exhausted. I am going to raid. I'm going to raid. Who should I raid? We'll raid talk a bit again. Alright, cool. Next to the field or heading, you click on it and text appears which explains what it is. Yeah. And I'm just also thinking, hidden by default, so people who know what they're doing get more screen real estate. Yeah. I'm gonna try and track down that designer and see what else they've sort of designed, because if memory serves me correctly, they were doing quite a lot of designs on forms and so forth like that, and had a bunch of to-dos and not to-dos. So yeah. Anyway, let's go raid Togglebit. So yeah, thank you very much everyone for being here tonight. I do hope to see you on Friday, where we'll probably continue with this. If I have time tomorrow, I'll be looking at more designs, and hopefully we can mock something up. It doesn't need to be anything serious tomorrow, on Friday. Yeah, it's just us playing around with the designs and getting stuff sorted. So yeah, anyway, thank you very much, and I do hope you enjoy Togglebit's stream. So yeah. And for those on YouTube, thank you very much for being here. It has been wonderful. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It does help. I'm sorry you can't follow us with the raid, but I do hope to see you next time.